Looking for a unique H-Town holiday experience? Cistern Illuminated returns to the Buffalo Bayou Park Cistern December 6th through January 26th. The annual winter light installation transforms the underground reservoir at the Buffalo Bayou Park Cistern, delivering an ethereal experience unlike any other. On selected dates, Cistern Illuminated will be accompanied by Voices of Light choral performances by the Co-Cathedral of the Sacred Heart. Reserve your spot now at buffalobayou.org. That's buffalobayou.org. Today on CityCast Houston, it's Wednesday, so you know we're talking food. And you can't talk about 2024 without bringing up the Michelin Guide finally coming to Texas. But beyond that headline, there were so many highs and a few lows for Houston's food scene. Like the fall of the Turkey Leg Hut to the rise of high-end coffee shops and so much more. So let's recap the year that was in Houston's thriving restaurant industry. Cron.com's food writer Erica Cheng is joining me for that, plus our predictions for food trends in 2025. It's Wednesday, December 4th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Erica, what's up? How are you?
I'm so good, Raheel. So very excited to talk to y'all today about food news.
I know, a lot to talk about, and this is going to be the last time you're on for the year, so we will be recapping a lot of interesting stuff. But as always, anytime you're on with me talking about the food news, I want to start with the most important question. What was the best thing you ate since the last time you joined us?
Okay. Huge question. I gotta start this with a sleeper hit, okay?
Ooh.
So I was at Mala Sichuan Bistro over the weekend, and one of the things that I got that I absolutely love that nobody is getting, and I know this because I didn't think to get it. It's called the Nourishing Chicken Soup at Mala Sichuan Bistro. It is so comforting on a cold night.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like very in the vein of light Chinese soup. So it's like per serving. It's one bowl, so it's filled with like chickeny goodness, but then they throw stuff in there that's like medicinal, quote unquote. There's like red dates in there and goji berries and these things called like cordyceps mushrooms. I don't know what that is, but
I love cordyceps mushrooms. I'm a fan of cordyceps mushrooms. I know what cordyceps mushrooms are. I've been taking them for like a decade plus, all right? It helps with your cardiovascular.
Oh my God. Okay. The right person for this podcast. Genius. You've earned your keep for today. Go get this nourishing chicken soup with cordyceps mushrooms at Mala Sichuan Bistro.
All right. So is it like a hearty soup or is it a brothy, just like, hey, I'm going to feel good in this cold?
It's okay. It's not hearty at all. It's like drinking water, but in a good way. You know, it's like a, what is that new term people use? Sipping broth, I guess, if we're going to be like PR about it. But it is light. It's like one bowl only. It's only one serving because they pack it full of so much herby goodness, but there's a lot going on with it. It's the perfect appetizer to a meal. I love it so much. It's so soothing.
I was not ready for that, but I want in on this. Erica, one of the big stories of the year has been the Turkey Leg Hut and the drama surrounding it, whether it be created by their own or the separation. There's just so much going on, but it looks like it is officially done. Like we are no longer going to have the Turkey Leg Hut. Can you sum it up all for me right now?
I could try to. There's a lot going on in this. I think it really starts maybe a year ago. If we were going to say that's where it starts, that's, legally that's where this starts. But about a year ago, they get into this lawsuit that actually happened maybe like 2 years ago at this point. But in that lawsuit, the former business partner sues them for failing to pay them out for the rest of the shares of the restaurant. A judge rules that the Turkey Leg Hut owners, Nakia Holmes and her almost ex-husband, Lindell Price, need to pay this former partner, Steve Rogers, over $900,000. Okay, that's where this kind of kicks off. And so what happens is the owner of the Turkey Leg Hut, Nakia Holmes, declares bankruptcy right after the judge tells her, you got to pay this man back. Okay. And that kind of starts the ball rolling on, what for this conversation we will call the fall of Turkey Leg Hut. Are there other things that contributed to this? Yes. That that restaurant has had a long, crazy record of so many things, ranging from dress codes to allegations of not paying people out to a bunch of stuff. But legally, that's what led to the bankruptcy filing. And the weird personal news behind that bankruptcy was, I think November and last year, she also filed for divorce from her husband, which, adds a whole nother layer of this. And those two things together, I think, really signal I don't want to call it the romantic downfall, I guess the spiritual downfall of the turkey leg hut.
That's important because you see the logo, both are on it. They are co-founders, right? Like they are Turkey Leg Hut, the two pictures.
Yeah, that sign's gone now. But besides the point, these things are happening in tandem, and it's like very difficult. I, respect everybody's personal life in this, but I don't think you can talk about the future of the restaurant without watching what either partner does. Mm-hmm. Right? So it seems like the soon-to-be ex-husband, Lindell Price, he's really trying to build up the brand again. He's got the Oyster Hut, which, not to be petty, but that Oyster Hut started as a parking lot pop-up across the street from the Turkey Leg Hut.
Yeah.
Which he then got evicted from. But besides the point, this is a Netflix documentary waiting to happen, unfortunately. I know it's people love this restaurant. It's a crazy thing. But Lynn Price, he's really making moves when it comes to the Oyster Hut. He's opened a couple locations around Texas. He's looking for a place in like McAllen, in the Valley of all places.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that is in Houston is in Third Ward, very true to their nature. And he's really trying to build that brand up with his grilled oyster offerings. And apparently, according to social media, is branching out into turkey legs again.
Oh, wow. Which
is interesting, right? Yeah. I will say, I think Nakia Holmes is very much in her right to retain the name of the Turkey Leg Hut, But now we just have to see what happens. I mean, I think a lot of this hinges on their divorce, right? Like, obviously, there's some property law happening there. But the original restaurant in Alameda, the thing is dead and gone.
Yeah. The lease has been terminated. They still owe a lot of money right now. And it is such an interesting look at going from the highs of the highs. I mean, it's a cultural phenomena. And then there's a lot of mismanagement. There's the personal stuff. And it's no longer the Turkey Leg Hut. It is dead in the water. It's so wild.
Dead in the water. For anybody that had a bite of that restaurant at its prime, you are a time capsule in history. I hope you guys know that.
Yeah. Well, the food is good, by the way, or was good. Sorry. It was good. Like a lot of people said, oh, it's kind of overrated. No, you're right. Like in its prime, it was delicious.
Wow. I never had it. I mean, the line was long, and pretty sure I was in high school when it started, and I was like,
you didn't want to wait. That's all right. Yeah, I did. And it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't go back again. I'm not a person to wait. I don't like waiting. I'm similar to a lot of people. Like, I don't want to wait 2 hours for food. But yeah, it was good. So rest in peace, Turkey Leg Hut. Do you think it will be back up and running in our lifetime, or let's say 5 years? I don't want to say our lifetime. If Enron is resurrected, then I think Turkey Leg Hut's going to be resurrected.
We're not even going to talk about Enron today. Well, I don't know what that's about. That's not my business. But I mean, I think it's really likely. I mean, these people, they're such hustlers, which I really have to admire. That's very Houston of them. They're super big hustlers. I would not be surprised if other things were coming.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see what happens with that. What other stories from 2024 in the Houston food scene will you remember? What was the biggest story?
Okay. If we're talking about Houston specifically, I think we have to talk about Michelin, right? Yeah. I think that is something that everybody has had their eyes on for years. It is insane how long it took us to get a Michelin star. But, maybe that's recency bias. Maybe it's something, more interesting, like the drama behind Trill Burgers and everything happening there. But I think for sure it is Michelin.
Yeah, Michelin for sure was the number one story. The launch was here in Houston for all of Texas, by the way. That was great. The coverage was outstanding. We had a lot as well, and I appreciate you joining us for the episode where you laid out where to eat and all that good stuff. So that one is like an easy one. Let's go to some other stories. Trill Burgers. Look, there's a lot of drama behind the scenes happening there as well, but they're also expanding 2 more locations. And they are still hustling, by the way, Erica. I saw they were doing pop-ups in College Station. They were doing some at the Better Generation, which is a store here in Houston. They're still at NRG. Like, it is not stopping with Trill Burgers. That is definitely a story to watch for the year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's been crazy to see the ride that this has been going on. I'm a firm believer is as soon as you make it, something's gonna happen. There's no way you get this successful and something doesn't pop up. So it kind of felt like it was in the making. For people on the food news side, a lot of people knew about everything that was going on with Sticky's Chicken and everything going on with all that. A lot of fans too, I've seen online have been like, man, I ate that Trill Burgers at that Sticky Chicken pop-up. And it felt like it was a long time coming.
Yeah, and just to sum up what happened, Trill Burgers and the owners of Sticky's Chicken, they were in a business partnership, but then lawsuits were filed, partnerships were broken, a lot of allegations were made.
But the Trill Burgers expansion is also a long time coming. And, Bun B, he's going to work, right? He is a hustler. He is Houston all around. And it's not surprising to see that as well. How, like, whatever they're doing on the business side, not surprising to see. A lot of people are very excited for the new locations, for the pop-ups, everything that's happening. I mean, the world still turns, even when there's drama behind the scenes.
Yeah. And also Nick Scurfield, good friend of the show. Love him. He's out there hustling, grinding. Love to see him redefine the second part of his career as well. This is going to be the hardest one, I think, all right, of all the questions I have for you. What was your restaurant of the year in 2024?
This one is really a sleeper hit. I don't know why this one stood out to me so much. I think the food that I had here was just unmatched. It was such a new thing for me. And I think maybe the experience of this place really like pushed me over the edge. But I'm going to say Momo House, right? A lot of people do not know what this place is, but Momo House is a Nepal restaurant. I have never had dumplings like that in my life, a Nepali style dumpling. I think they're one to watch as we move forward, as people really dig into what Nepali food is and how that fits into Houston, right? I think for me personally, that was my best restaurant. I was super excited for it. And I was super excited to try their momos, which are their dumplings, because they do it so differently. They have like this yellow, like almost curry dipping sauce for them. They have momos covered in like a chili tomato sauce. They have momos made with yak meat and like water buffalo.
Wow.
It was delicious to me. It was something that I like look forward to eating now. And I've only had it once, but I've been craving and thinking about it ever since.
What exactly is Nepali food? Do you know, like, can you sum it up, or is this like a fusion? I didn't know dumplings were a big Nepali staple.
Not to make it too general, but Nepal is kind of in between China and India. There are a lot of those influences coming in there. But there's also things like, buffalo, bison. They have like different kinds of gamey meat that are just there naturally. They use a lot of like different kind of dairy too in their drinks, like a milk tea. It's like a little salty. It's good. I'm still delving into the world of Nepali food. I have no idea what to expect, but based on my very, very not deep preliminary findings, there's so much influence from both sides. And I think there's a little bit from, all over that area that I think is super exciting. And I'm ready to delve into it a little more. I will say though, hold on, let me say this. Professionally, as a food writer, just observer, I think the best restaurant of 2024 might be Tatamo.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think we talked about it last time you were on, but it's definitely one of those restaurants that if you look back in the whole year, it's gotten the most coverage, it's gotten awards, and it has been one of the staples for Houstonians and tourists to go visit.
I'm still waiting to get on the list. I'm like mentally preparing for it. I'm so excited. I have a reservation at March later this week, and Tatamo's coming up. Like I'm rooting for it so hard. I'm ready to go.
I love that one. Okay, looking back on the year now, what about an item or dish that defined Houston for the year?
Okay, in my personal opinion, I think the banh mi is the sandwich of Houston, okay?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you, but I feel like it's been the sandwich of Houston for a decade plus. Why now?
Because people are waking it up, okay? Because I think there's some non-traditional takes that we're seeing. Maybe it's a hot take for me to say that, right? But if Philly can have, the cheesesteak, and New York can have the chopped cheese or whatever. I don't know what goes on up there. Houston surely can have the banh mi.
Yes.
And one of the places that I have seen does banh mi so well, also kind of a sleeper hit, Les Baguette, or Les Baguettes if we're French, in Garden Oaks. They have an oak smoked brisket banh mi that I love. It is so hearty. It's not, I don't want to say it's fusion. It's just smart.
Okay. Okay, it's
smart.
just smart. I like that.
It's just smart. I mean, otherwise, if we're talking about like the Houston dish, I mean, dessert wise, we got to go Bayou Goo pie.
Yes, that's always been a classic. I'm thinking more about trends from the year, right? Like the viral Dubai chocolate. That was the rage from about April to the end of August. It was just like everyone was trying it out and creating a viral Dubai chocolate, which if you don't know what it is by now, we have a whole episode on it that I'll link in there. But basically, it's a really milk chocolatey goodness bar filled with kanafa in there and like pistachio cream. Sometimes people will do a Biscoff cream in the middle. There's all sorts of variations, but it is super sweet and super crunchy. That was the rage. I think the rise of high-end coffee shops, they've been here for a long time, right? Like they've been here, but
Yes.
high-end coffee shops, I think is one of the biggest trends in 2024 that caught fire, right? Like I'm thinking about places like Emma, Brass Tacks, Lucy Coffee Roasters, right? There's so many to name, but those really were a big trend that people jumped on and supported this year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's a great observation as well. That I didn't even think of because I totally forget that coffee is a food. But
It's my favorite food, it seems
Yeah.
like. That's right.
but Houston's coffee scene, I think, is growing in ways that nobody notices. Okay.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane to me. We have like world-class baristas, literally award-winning baristas in Houston competing regularly. At one point, last year, I covered a barista competition over here in Houston. And it was like insane to me how much work goes into it and how little people know about it, right? I'm excited to see that grow in the next few years. I mean, I think with the talent that we have in Houston, oh my gosh, we could be on the same level of coffee as like Australia,
Yeah, I'm with you. It has become one of the staples. And like you think about where it started, right? Like Cat's Coffee has always been the OG here. They've always done really incredible things with their beans and how they roast them, the flavor profile, all that good stuff. And then all of these high-end shops pop up. Maven is another one. I didn't even bring up
Yes.
Maven, that's taking alcoholic drinks, coffee, bartenders, baristas. Everyone is just like one fusion person, it seems like. And they've got locations inside Toyota Center, right? Like, why do we have a coffee shop inside Toyota Center? But there it is because it is so good. Yeah, that is definitely a trend that I'll remember from the year.
Yeah, I think so. And especially with the like comeback of the espresso martini, I mean, there's just no way to go but up.
For 58 seasons, the George Theater has been entertaining Houstonians. It's truly a Houston institution and has become the world's leading Christian theater company. And this winter, they have the second and final installment of a new beloved classic, A Texas Carol Part 2. Part 1 premiered to rave reviews in Houston a few years ago, and now the hilarious holiday play is back, November 27th through December 22nd. You can expect an evening of laughs and dysfunction as the family gathers on the East Texas Ranch once more for a Christmas Day wedding. Get your tickets now for A Texas Carol Part 2 at the George Theater at adplayers.org. CityCast Houston listeners get 15% off up to 4 tickets with code Houston15. That's Houston15. Since 1957, the Women's Home has worked to build whole lives in the Houston area. Their mission is to build communities that strengthen women and support families as they reclaim their stability. The Women's Home employs a unique model of care called Whole Life, By embracing the whole person, the Women's Home prepares women and their families to become empowered and productive forces in their communities. One way they do this is through the Cottage Shop. This one-of-a-kind resale boutique is owned and operated by the Women's Home and has been a Houston treasure in Montrose since 1971. The best part? 100% of sales go to the Women's Home, and the Cottage Shop serves as a vocational training site for their clients. So you can pick up high-fashion clothing and home goods at incredible prices and give back to the community. Come check out the Cottage Shop during their sidewalk sale on December 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll have music and door prizes, and of course, you can thrift for a cause. The Cottage Shop is located at 811 Westheimer Road, or learn more at thewomens'shome.org. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's that time of year where we'll be meeting with friends and family to celebrate the holidays, and that feeling of seeing everyone brings me so much comfort, but I know for others it can feel kind of blue and lonely. Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away. Therapy helped me learn positive coping skills and to prepare myself emotionally for anything life throws at me. Remember, therapy isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, so it's meant to be convenient and flexible. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Visit BetterHelp.com/CityCast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/CityCast. Okay, one more for the recap, all right? Do you have a best suburban restaurant of the year for me? Because you know me, I love my suburbs.
Okay, this is where we start fighting. Define the suburbs. Define it. Because I know everybody talks mess about, inner loop versus outer loop, and I'm from the north side, I'm from the south side. Define the suburbs.
I'm going to say anything outside of the Beltway, okay? So if you're out the Beltway, then that's a suburb for me. But I know the Montrose and the Heights people are like, anything outside of these neighborhoods, that's a suburb, okay? Like, that's how they all talk, by the way.
Yeah, every single one of them. I always say, nobody cares about the inner loop, outer loop beef or the north side, south side beef. It's people from the woodlands that are the enemy. I'm so sorry. But Sugarland too, y'all not exempt.
Hey.
Please, Raheel, spare me.
The real homies live in Richmond, Texas.
Oh my
I grew
gosh.
I grew up in Sugarland, so I'll always love it.
Richmond, Texas, y'all are closer to a Buc-ee's than you are Harris County, but that's fine.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
So much, but that's okay. I'm just the city girl. Besides the point. That being said, the suburbs is really developing such good eats, and I was really surprised by this one. The one restaurant that I think is best in the suburbs right now, I love me some Chinese food. My people are from Hong Kong. It's like literally all we eat. But the roast duck from Chung Wang Barbecue in Katy has been the place I've been thinking about right now. Yeah.
You recently had it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Let me tell you what happened. It was such a mad dash for Thanksgiving. My family, once again, we're not really turkey people. We go for a roast duck every time. My sister booked it online, but we're a little unclear if we would actually get a roast duck for Thanksgiving, right? Because it's busy. She called and the lady was telling us about a walk-in. I get there, I wait in a 10-minute line, and then I realize there's a separate line for called-in orders. So I walk up to that side, I ask them for it, and the guy, we're talking in Chinese, the guy, he doesn't yell at me, but he does chastise me a little bit. And let me tell you, authentic, 100% authentic experience. Season the duck. It was beautiful. It was great. I'm so excited to try more from there, even if it means driving like 30, 40 minutes out of the way.
Okay. I will try that place out because I don't like roast duck. I don't like duck in general. Like the meat profile, the gaminess, I can't do it. I don't know. Please. But if you're recommending it, I will try it.
Please. Raheel, we're going to go eat.
All right. That's, you know what? Deal. I'm always game for that one. All right. Looking forward to next year, Erica. It's going to be another exciting year in food for the city of Houston, right? All eyes are on the city, of course, with the Michelin star. And then next year, there'll be more restaurants named to that list and all that good stuff, right? But Right now, putting you on the spot, predict the biggest trend or story for next year.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It might be the rise of another turkey leg cut. I don't know. I think that'll be the next thing that people look for. Oh my goodness. Oh, now I'm thinking about it trend wise, and I'm like, I have no clue. It's got to be something Korean. Part of me thinks it has to be something Korean.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. It feels like that's what's been happening recently, especially with like online food. We're seeing the rise of like, oh, we had Korean barbecue at this place, or like, eat this recipe from this BTS member. I mean, the Koreans are definitely taking over like culinary television on Netflix. I feel like it has to be something Korean. We had dalgona coffee. We've had that like fire sauce chicken bulldog ramen. There has to be something more.
Okay. Korean is the trend for 2025, unofficially.
Unofficially. I might be wrong.
Here's my prediction, and you actually wrote about this one. I think it's going to be the downfall of all the boba shops that have been opening up left and right for the last decade. I think 2025 is the year that we get back to like an even level where maybe we don't need 5 boba shops in one shopping center. I don't know.
Okay.
I
That's
think
a valid
I think
one.
the supply and demand is catching up.
That's totally okay. Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. That's valid. I mean, I think about this all the time, but they make money. There's like you're charging $7 for a drink. You have to be making money, but you're not serving food.
Some of them are, though.
Some of them are, but then what's the draw? Because then it's just the restaurant.
That's why I'm with you. I don't know. And you, by the way, you wrote about Mr. Wish, which was a boba store closing. That was pretty big because that was a pretty hyped up location. Yeah, like I'm with you. I don't know how all of the boba shops are going to survive. And, like I'm thinking about just in my neighborhood, I have 4 within a 1 mile radius. Yeah, in the suburbs.
In the suburbs. Okay, I guess that's where the bubble is. All right.
Yeah.
But that's something the suburbs are good for. But I mean, I have to agree. I loved Mr. Wish Down. I think we put it in the piece. I had like $40 worth of rewards points there. I was cool with the servers. At that point, I was really sad to see them go. But I think you're right. I mean, maybe we're going to see less of them. More something else. Maybe more like unique bakeries that are popping up. Maybe more high-end coffee shops, like you said. I don't know.
It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a lot of good eats. Erica, that was so much fun to get all of your hot takes. We would usually do check please here, but I feel like you've dropped so many hot takes today that I don't want one more from you and put you on the spot once more. So we will wrap it with that. Any final thoughts, though, before we leave?
Okay, you didn't ask for one, but I'm going to give you one hot take. More restaurants should have crazier music options. Okay, boom, done.
What do you mean?
That.
Explain.
Okay, once again, Ma Sichuan Bisho, the gift that keeps on giving. I went there over the weekend, and the soundtrack that they were playing was insane. Okay, there's this old Chinese instrument called the guzheng. In English, I think it's called a zither, but it's basically like a Chinese harp. They were playing guzheng instrumentals of Linkin Park.
What?
And Charlie Puth and Despacito. Like it was awesome. I stopped literally in mid conversation and went, "This is Linkin Park." I think more restaurants should do stuff like that.
Erica, I'm so glad you brought that up because I went to Benny's Pizza in Katy, and while we were eating there, they had like a Peruvian concert of an artist. I don't know who it was, but he was also playing covers at this major concert, and it was hype. It was so awesome.
Wow.
So, okay, wild music is the pick for 2025 now.
That is key.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the dining experience, and I think we should have more of it.
Erica, thank you so much for joining us throughout the year, and can't wait to talk to you in 2025. Ugh, mind blown. This is crazy. We're almost there. Thanks.
Okay, Raheel and CityCast listeners, thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to talk to y'all next year.
That was Erica Cheng with Cron.com. If you enjoyed this episode or have some hot takes of your own, send us a DM on Instagram at CityCastHouston or send us a message with the contact info in our show notes. Now, I know you have 3 friends who love food, so send this episode to them and please rate and review the podcast wherever you listen. You can also get more food recs and news in our daily newsletter, Hey Houston. Subscribe to that at houston.citycast.fm. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
Herby goodness. I don't know. I'm talking with my hands a lot. Y'all can't see that.
Yeah.